Look, I love the Dallas Cowboys with all my heart and all my soul. I have since I was 10 years old. I'll bet I love the Cowboys even more than you love the Cowboys. I'll bet I know more Cowboy history than just about anybody alive right now. See my book, God's Coach. It tears me apart to have to criticize the team I grew up loving. But somebody has to shout it from the rooftops that Jerry Jones is slowly but surely going Joe Biden, and he's slowly but surely tearing apart our Dallas Cowboys. Latest instance is it's what Demarcus Lawrence just said. He just laid down DLaw. You can dismiss it as petty or silly if you want to, but I don't. What he said really about Dak Prescott and also about Micah Parsons was the scary truth. And you can say it was sour grapes, and maybe there's a little sour grapishness to it, but not a lot. There was mostly truth to it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why this was significant, because obviously Demarcus Lawrence just left via free agency. He's going on 33 years of age on April 28th. He's a little long in the tooth. He gave us 11 very good years. Even going into next year, he would be the, fourth most valuable player on the team behind Dak, Micah, and CD. I could throw in Brandon Aubrey. I don't consider him a football player, but he's very valuable. But Demarcus Lawrence got a pretty good deal from the Seattle Seahawks because he can still be pretty good. You know and I know he would have been pretty good for our Dallas Cowboys next year, but there's no way Jerry's going to pay 3 more years at $42-ish million. It's about 14 a year, but he got 18 million guaranteed. It's a pretty significant deal that Jerry wasn't going to pay because he's going to save and overpay all that money to Micah Parsons. So Demarcus Lawrence did get up to Seattle, maybe feeling a little full of himself. And he made it very clear to an interviewer up there that his home is still in Dallas. I'm pretty sure his heart is still in Dallas. But he did say a change of scenery is always good. That's a quote. And then he said, kaboom, this. I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. And then he added, we here. And you are. And Micah saw it and responded via X or Twitter with this tweet. This is what's tweeted Micah. This is what rejection and envy looks like. What rejection and envy looks like. This is some clown shit, tweeted Micah at DLaw. No, Micah, it wasn't clown shit. Maybe there's a touch of rejection and a touch of envy because once a Cowboy, you always want to be a Cowboy because there's nothing better in the National Football League than wearing that uniform, that star on your helmet, that metallic blue and silver and white, and being part of America's team and playing games on the grand national stage that is Jerry World. It's nothing really like it. But it wasn't clown shit, what he said. It was the truth. And then DLaw laid down more DLaw as he tweeted back at Micah Parsons, and I quote, calling me a clown won't change the fact that I told the truth. Maybe if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, I wouldn't have left. Tweeted Demarcus Lawrence at Micah Parsons. Boom, truth. As I tweeted late last night. Boom, truth. You can run from it if you want. You can stick your head in the sand if you want. Boom, truth. DLaw laying down DLaw on Micah Parsons. So true. But here's my point. Think about this. Please, Cowboy Nation, think about this. If Demarcus Lawrence, after 4 Pro Bowls and 11 years in Dallas, had dared to tweet that at Micah Parsons, you should take it to heart and look at the significance of the fact that a veteran and decorated defensive lineman had so little respect for Micah Parsons that he took this shot at him. If he had considered Micah a proven superstar, superior to him, there's no way he would have taken this shot back at Micah. No way. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long, long time. No way would a very good football player taken that kind of pot shot, returning fire at a player that he truly respected. He doesn't respect Micah. He knows he plays Micah's position. He knows what I know, what I've been telling you, the truth I've been telling you for the last 2 years. Micah is overrated. Micah is podcasting and tweeting to a fault before he's proven anything in this league. We see the explosive ability. We see the quickness. We see the speed. But we also see that he's a little light in the britches, that he gets mauled by bigger, stronger offensive tackles, that he wears down over the season. He can get off to a hot start, and then he just gets beaten down. He doesn't pack enough punch. I thought mistakenly that he had some Lawrence Taylor in him, some. And I dared, going back 3 and 4 years ago, we even made a video at FS1 about Micah. My own Micah, 11 from heaven. I thought he was. I thought he could be. I even dared to put him in the possible conversation with LT, the great Lawrence Taylor. But no, over the last 2 years, we've seen him fade and fade and fade some more. He's not what I thought he was. And Jerry Jones is saving up everything under the cap because he picked Micah. Actually, Micah picked him because they wanted the 2 cornerbacks that went to Denver, obviously, and to Carolina. And they're both really good players, and I campaigned for both those cornerbacks to go to Dallas, and they were just simply off the board when Dallas picked, and they lucked into, they actually traded with Philadelphia and lucked into trading back, and Micah fell into their laps, 11 right out of heaven. But he wasn't all that. He can be difficult to coach. He's got his priorities upside down because he fell into podcasting and had some success. Way to go, Micah. But you have to win before you podcast. You have to win before you take to Twitter and become a Twitter superstar. You have to back it up, and I don't think Micah can back it up. And now Jerry's going to back up his pride by making Micah the highest paid defensive player in history. And Demarcus Lawrence, who plays the position and watched him up close and personal in meeting after meeting, practice after practice, is basically saying he ain't all that. He's saying if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, I wouldn't have left. And there may be some truth to that. Maybe he would have taken more of a hometown discount if Dallas was coming off, dare I say, a Super Bowl year. But I keep warning you. You say I'm the boy who cried wolf, but I keep saying, look at what Philadelphia has done. They're way better than Dallas. I picked the Eagles before the year started to win it all because I saw it coming. I saw what Jerry didn't do, all in Jerry, and I saw what the great Howie Roseman did do a year ago in free agency, then in the draft. Jerry sticks by his guns. I build through the draft because he can take pride and brag about draft picks because he makes the draft picks. It's easy to go out and plunge in free agency, but you got to plunge smart, Jerry. We don't do free agency. And now we've gone through the early stages of free agency. All the best names are off the board. And not one time have I said, wow. I said, ooh, several times because, oh, God, wait, we lost Jordan Lewis? Really? Ugh. We lost Demarcus Lawrence? Really? We lost Rico Dowdle? He didn't come back? Really? Look at what the Commanders are doing, and they still have more cap space than we have, and they ain't finished yet. Kept hearing today, we're in on Cooper Kupp. Nope. Then the Dallas Morning News just reported we're out on Cooper Kupp. That's why DLaw is laying down DLaw. He did say a few weeks back to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, I'd like to stay here. It would be a glorious thing. But I think he knew, and we all knew, Jerry's not going to pay that kind of freight. 11 years. He was once the 34th overall pick in the draft, so he was early second round out of Boise. He was a great draft pick. Gave us 4 Pro Bowls, gave us high ratings. Pro Football Focus just a year ago when he was healthy. He was the 8th best edge rusher in football. That'll work. You can win with that, but we didn't because he was only there for 4 games. He had 3 sacks in the first 4 games. We were getting blown off the field. But then he injured his foot for a second time in his career. He had a serious foot injury. Liz Frank surgery. So is he capable of giving Seattle maybe 1 to 2 good years? Maybe 3 years is stretching it. $18 million. It's a pretty big risk, but I think it'll pay off because I think he's still got that in him. And you know what happens when these players go elsewhere? They have a chip on their shoulder. Now he's going to have an even bigger chip on his shoulder. But he's telling you, quote unquote, he said it so matter-of-factly. I watched the interview. I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. Well, that's not only a commentary on Micah, but that's a bigger commentary on Dak Prescott. I've told you from the start, he ain't it. CD's mom told you he ain't it. CD has basically told you through his body language and his spats with Dak on sidelines, he ain't it. 2-5 in the postseason, not worth the most money ever spent on any pro football player ever was Dak Prescott when he got his contract a year ago with the Cowboys. He's still on cap hit alone. He's still going to be right at the top going into this year. So Jerry put all his eggs in the basket of a 2-5 postseason quarterback, and now he's going to put all the rest of his eggs in the basket of a Micah Parsons who's probably better at podcasting than he is at game wrecking. That's what DLaw is saying. Priorities out of whack. He knows the owner's out of whack. Losing it. It's scary. And I'm going to take it to my bank while he's taking it to his bank in Seattle that DLaw just told the shocking, frightening, devastating truth about our Dallas Cowboys. We're farther away from Super Bowl than we've ever been. In Philadelphia, just won one, and Washington's very close. And I just might pick the Commanders to win it all next year. We'll miss you, DLaw.